Weather Analytics meteorologist Joe Bastardi enhanced chance today in Nebraska into Iowa over here, and we see it tomorrow spreading east, and then Sunday into the Ohio Valley and the eastern Ohio Valley, and on into Pennsylvania. So my father-in-law used to kid around and go, "Are you from Pennsylvania?" There's Kentucky, there's Pennsylvania. Yorka, West Tucky. I left Ohio out. All right, didn't mean to leave Ohio out. And next week is going to get really active. Wait till you get a load of this, because heat is going to try to come out and cool is going to try to fight. And look out when that happens. Speaking of look out, I believe this is going to become a tropical cyclone. Now, the Hurricane Center has a 50% chance of it developing in 5 days, which means there's a 50% chance it doesn't develop. But the fact of the matter is, a 50% chance at this time of the year is a bold forecast. You see, against the normal, which you take every 5-day period that's ever occurred in June and put tropical development in them, you would see the probability in a 5-day period of a tropical cyclone developing in that area of the Gulf of Mexico is very, very low. So 50% is actually boldly high. So I think it's going to develop. I'm just not sure where it's going to wind up. It reminds me a little bit of Alice in 1954. And I'm not talking about the Alice that developed New Year's Eve and then went. That's right, we had a New Year's Eve hurricane in 1954. I'm talking about Alice the First, which hit the lower Rio Grande Valley in June. So that's something, watch it. Now, Hurricane Center was right on this. I'm sitting here yesterday, oh, look at this. This is the one to watch, and it's weakened, but the one behind it, that is very impressive for the month of June. And there's only been 4, I believe, June developments east of the islands. So a 10% chance of what they have is a very high probability, even though it's like saying, well, there's a 90% chance it doesn't develop. But against the normal probability, it's very high. So you could play so many games with probabilities. It's so much fun. I just love statistics class. Yes. For instance, statistically speaking, if we just use win percentages, okay, at Penn State, my total record was 1-4. But at 167, it was 1-0, which means I had a perfect win percentage at 167, so I'm the greatest Penn State wrestler ever there, if we're going to use percentages. I tell that to one of our guys graduated, a 2-time Hodge winner, David Taylor, 165-pound 2-time national champion. I think he lost 2 matches, and I think he won like 150 or whatever he won, right? Won a ton of matches. And I said, well, David, you weren't perfect. What am I supposed to tell you over here? I mean, you're 0.999999999, but I was 1.0. See, you can play with that stuff. You see, that's what I get a kick out of when you look at some of the representations of temperatures. What I think you got to do is, well, my opinion is, go back to the start of the satellite area. Can't monkey around with anything. Compare it to the 30-year mean. There, that's what you do. So if you're adjusting temperatures down when they were warmer before, because, well, we're going to adjust them. These are thermometers. We'll adjust them down. But now you're measuring with satellite and thermometers, and that's what goes on. So you got percentile rankings. It's just, oh, anyway, there's Alice in 54. Now what would have to happen is this comes up in the central Gulf, turns west, and then has to wait to try to cut through a ridge. It's going to miss the connection with the trough over the next several days, so it's going to turn back west, just as likely to go down here into Mexico. I don't think we're going to have a problem up in here like Audrey in 57. But the point is, we've been outlining the idea that we get some development, and indeed, it looks like we are. Hey, this is pretty interesting. This is what I'm talking about, Atlantic Basin. This is really unusual. Look at how low these pressures are. Day 10 on the European in June. That is really something to see. So that wave train is going to continue active. Okay, day 1 through 6 on the GFS, and look, there's a cold in the 6 to 11. It's coming again. It's the summer of variance, huh? And you can see what the GFS is doing. It doesn't like any of this stuff toward here. It's got something way down here, and trying to take another batch of precipitation up with that. And a lot of rain over the next 10, 11 days, and rain thwarts heat. right? So that's a hint that this trough is coming. It's because the trough is coming, we're going to get a lot of rain. There's going to be a big fight between heat coming out and cool coming down, because Canada is going to get very, very cold for this time of the year. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the European, I can't put this on here, but the European 5,000 foot temperatures in North America, 10 to 15 day period. I don't think I've seen it that. I can't remember in June. The whole North America is below normal. I'm sitting there going, is there something wrong with this data or something? But it is a pretty darn cool pattern in Canada this year. And, you know, the heat's going to try to come out from the west. And by the way, this stuff, you know, I see guys on my side of the global warming issue, oh, all the snow in California. Yeah, let me tell you something, that's going to melt pretty quick, because we're getting into the mean ridge position out there. And I think the rest of the summer turns warm out there. California, Nevada, Utah, it's already warm, but it's going to get warmer. All right, that's it. Well, it usually does get warmer until the middle of the summer, then it starts turning cooler. Never mind. I think, you know, I think the ghost of Hank Kimball. Anybody watch Green Acres? I think the ghost of Hank Kimball is like being channeled through my head this morning. It's like stream of consciousness. Whatever goes in my head comes out my mouth. Maybe I'm like the Bob Dylan of weather. Ever see Bob Dylan? You listen to his music and what the heck? This song is still going on? Isn't he out of Memphis yet? All right, that's it for now. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.